What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Thanks for pressing play. I don't know if you could tell or not, but it is only 20 degrees outside. Very cold here in the winter of Pennsylvania, and that can only mean one thing: Colorado content. All right, guys, there she is, looking beautiful as always. Yes, it is the winter time here, so we are finally getting back to some Colorado content. I know a lot of you guys have asked for it, and it is here. I want to apologize to all you diehard enthusiasts out there with the Colorado stuff because, yeah, the C8 and the C7, they've been taking up a lot of my time. Because of that, the Colorado has been a little bit neglected, but she's getting some love today. We're going to start out kind of small. We're going to ease back into things. So today is going to be an oil change. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, great. We've already seen these, but there's a little bit more to it than just me showing you how to change the oil in this truck. Let's talk about it. So here is the cabinet in my garage. As you can see, it's pretty fully stocked with a lot of oil. Now, there's actually two 5-quart jugs missing from here because that's what we're going to be using today. But what I want to talk about is the fact that the Colorado obviously takes 5W30. You guys probably already know that, but do you know how cheap this stuff can be? Now, just like with my Corvettes, we are going to be using fully synthetic Mobil 1 oil. Now, where things get really interesting is how much this stuff costs. So for a full synthetic oil change, you can get this done for under 30 bucks. Yeah, $30. And that's what we're gonna do today. But how do you get this for under $30, you ask? This jug right here, I can get at a bunch of different local auto parts stores, even Walmart or Amazon online. It costs about $27 to $28. Now that by itself is almost 30 bucks. So you're saying, well, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. But it does. So what I end up doing is you buy 1 or 2 5-quart jugs of oil at $27 or $28 a piece, and then Mobil 1 actually offers some promotions on these from time to time, typically 3 to 4 times a year, where you can go on their website and actually enter in the barcode and your purchase and your receipt and everything, and they'll give you up to $12 back per 5-quart jug. So with that said, now you're talking about only spending about 15 or 16 bucks on this guy right here. Now, of course, that's not all there is to the oil change. We also have to buy an oil filter, and that again can be purchased on Amazon for about $5. This is the part you're going to want right here. It's PF2257G. I will of course link the filter and the oil down in the description below if you guys are interested. So these two things will basically accomplish the oil change. I say basically because this only is 5 quarts. You actually need 6 quarts to complete this oil change. That's why we were able to get this oil change done so cheap today, under 30 bucks, because this ends up being about $16 or $17. This is about 6 bucks, and then an additional quart will cost you somewhere between 7 and 8 bucks. So that puts us right around $30, maybe a hair less. I'm kind of rounding up on a lot of this stuff. So you're going to be around 30 bucks for an oil change, a full synthetic oil change that will last 15,000 miles or a year. What we're going to do now is we are actually going to head up to Blackout Tinting. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the channel, you've probably heard of me talk about them before. And you're wondering, well, wait a second, Justin, why are you going to a detail shop to change your oil? Well, like I said, it is very cold here in Pennsylvania. It's actually about 20 degrees out here right now. And that is way too cold for me to slip under this truck and do this stuff. So we're gonna head up there. The owner of Blackout Tinting, his name is Josh. He is gracious enough to let me use his tint bay to get this done, and it's heated. So yeah, big thumbs up to Blackout Tinting. They are always taking care of me, even when I'm not using their products. Anyway, we're gonna hop in the truck and I will see you there. And here we are, guys. We are here at Blackout Tinting. Like I said, Josh was kind enough to let us destroy his tint bay for hopefully no more than half an hour or so to get this oil changed. But if you guys haven't seen the video before where Blackout Tinting did some PPF on the truck, paint protection film and XPEL, they tinted the windows, definitely check them out because they do an amazing job up here. And obviously it's not just the products that they do, but the way that they treat the people that are their customers. At one point, I was just a normal guy off the street coming in here wanting some window tint on a truck, and then we formed a relationship that we have now where he'll let me do some things like this, assuming that I don't destroy his property here. So anyway, yeah, check out Blackout Tinting. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the actual oil change here. Nothing crazy. But I really just wanted to talk to you about the way that you can get the oil a little bit cheaper than what you normally would, especially if you're going to do this oil change yourself. You can easily have this done for like $30, like I said, and that is full synthetic, something that's going to last you for at least a year. So it doesn't make sense to really do it any other way when you can do it this way and save so much money and so much time just doing it yourself and grabbing those promos from Mobil 1. But anyway, on to the actual oil change. First thing we're going to do, I'm just going to pop the oil cap off of here, because we want that to be able to breathe as we're draining the oil out of the bottom of the trucks. The huge benefit to doing this on a truck and not a Corvette is that I don't even need to raise this thing up in the air. I can just slide underneath there and start the actual draining process. So here we are under the truck, guys, and right there is the actual drain plug. That is a 15mm bolt, and it does face towards the passenger side. When we go ahead and take that out, you guys want to be careful because it is going to shoot out. It's going to kind of stream out probably to about here. So fairly good stream of oil. You're going to want to make sure you don't spill it everywhere. I've done this before, so it's not anything that I'm not going to expect, but if this is your first time doing this, definitely watch the stream there. And just kind of move it forward as it's draining, so your pan will catch all the little drips coming out too. And while we're waiting for the oil to drain, now is a good time to clean and inspect the drain plug. There is a rubber seal in here that you're going to want to make sure is good to go, because this will actually stop the drain bolt from just slowly leaking over time. Mine looks like it's in good shape, so just wipe off all the old oil, kind of just take a look at it, make sure the threads are all good, and then we will go back down, put this back in, and then of course we'll come up here to take out the oil filter, replace that, and then ultimately add fluid. So yeah, this is kind of an important step though. This is one that's often overlooked. If any of these are stripped or anything, you'll want a new plug. And while we're waiting for the oil to finish draining, we're going to come up here and actually start to the filter. Right there is the oil filter cap. Now that is a 24mm nut on the end there that you're going to need to remove that. It's kind of tight in there, so once you get the socket and a couple extensions on it, you can get it out of there pretty easily. It's not on there very tight because that cap is only plastic, so when you reinstall it, don't torque it down crazy amounts. I believe it is 25 Newton-meter, but we'll verify here in a second. Okay, so I got it loose with my many extensions and the 24mm socket there. Now I can reach down in there and grab it and pull it out. It is going to be covered in oil, so you should probably have something like this lined up to make sure you don't drip oil all over your engine. There it is. So it is covered in oil, but it's not dripping as badly as I thought it would be. So that's about what you're getting out of it. So once we take that out, we'll go ahead and put the new filter in. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so with the cap in hand, this is the filter. We can actually just grab it and separate, just pull it apart, and you'll feel it unclip just like that. Now we're gonna obviously reuse the cap. The filter, however, is garbage, so you can wrap that up and throw it away. Next step, we're gonna go ahead and open up the new oil filter here. The filter itself comes with a new gasket that we're gonna put on the oil cap here. That blue ring right there is going to be replaced. Right here is the new one out of the new filter's box. And then here is the new filter. You can tell that filter is obviously in a lot better condition than the previous one. The one that was in there was actually used for probably about 10 months, and my oil percentage life was actually at 0. So I should have done this a little bit earlier, but at the same time, those systems have some fail-safes built in, I'm sure, so it probably isn't anything terrible. But when you hit 0, that's typically when you should be doing it ASAP. So anyway, to remove this seal here, just get a pick tool like I have here. You could just pull it right off from there. That one is going to be garbage. We will go ahead and install the new one. After putting a little bit of oil on here, we'll go ahead and put it back on this cap. So the easiest way to do that is just to go inside the oil cap here. You can just stick your finger in there, get a little bit of oil on your finger, and then just lightly coat the new gasket with it, just so it seals easier and it doesn't get frozen or seized to anything. After that, we'll just go ahead and start working it onto the actual cap. It is a silicone or rubber material, so you can just kind of stretch it a little bit and it will go right on. Then you can just kind of work it right up there, the threads, and there it is, fully seated, ready to go. Like I said, the old one you can just pitch that. It is no good anymore. Lastly, I'm just going to kind of give everything a once over, make sure it's all nice and clean, there's no grease or oil left behind, and get as much of the old used oil out of the cap as possible, just so everything's nice and clean. And then the new oil filter will have these prongs here at the top. Those actually will snap into the inside there, where you can see that little like screw type indent. You can actually just snap this right in, and if you watch, whenever I press it, it snaps in. That way it doesn't come apart while you're trying to put this down into the engine and screwing it in. And lastly, guys, I've been warned by a couple different people that have done this in the past to make sure that that black stem that you can see coming out of the actual oil filter housing assembly there, that black piece of plastic right in the center, you want to make sure that that is there, because that actually prevents the filter itself from collapsing under the oil pressure. If for some reason that comes out with your oil filter, or it's broken or anything, you definitely do not want to continue until you get that replaced. And there it is, we got it back in. But guys, definitely pay attention to this part, because that is not overly easy to get back in there. So we're going to go ahead and tighten that down and then move on to the next step. But before we do, like I said in the beginning, I thought it was 25 Newton meters. That is the correct torque number, so definitely make sure you don't over torque this thing. 25 Newton meters is not very much. Okay, so we got the oil filter changed, we got it tightened down. Now this down here is still at a slow drip, but I've let it drip now for probably half an hour. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and clean up the mating surface as best I can, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten in the drain plug. Okay, that is finger tight. Now we'll go ahead and tighten it down. This is 18 foot-pounds. One last wipe down, and then we are ready to fill some oil. And we're ready to go, guys. So I'm going to start filling this up with oil, but in my infinite wisdom, I forgot to bring an oil funnel. So we're going to have to be really, really, really super careful to get that oil in there. All right, here we go. The first 2.5 quarts without a filter. This is definitely going to be fun. Liquid gold. All right, that wasn't too bad. Now for the other 3.5 quarts. Okay, this one's going to be a little more difficult. Yeah. And that puts our 5-quart jug at exactly 1.5 quarts left, which means we got 3.5 out of it. So this should be full. We'll go ahead, put the cap back on, start it up, and then check the actual oil level to make sure we are within the hash marks. So we're about done, guys. For those of you who stay tuned this long, you're troopers. I appreciate it. Now, of course, we did have a little bit of spillage here. So if you have access to a funnel, definitely use a funnel. Usually I have like 15 funnels at home, so it's my bad for not bringing them, but we got it done nonetheless. There was a little bit of spillage, but I was prepared with some shop towels. And we are about halfway through the hashes there. We could actually use maybe a quarter more of a quart. So we'll go ahead and add that in, and then we are good to go. So one last step. I want to show you guys how to reset the change oil soon light. Obviously, I'm at 0%, and that is telling me I got to change it here pretty soon. And I can hit OK to dismiss, but ultimately we need to reset that. So what we're going to do, we're going to press a little check here to get out of that. And then we're going to press the left arrow here to get into the actual menu. We're going to go up to Info. And we're going to scroll down until we see oil life, and you can see there it is at 0. So now we're going to press and hold this check mark, and there you go. So now we're back to 100%. All right, guys, so there you have it. That is the process of changing the oil in your Colorado, and it's a way that you can do it by saving some money. Not only does it save you money, but it saves you time, because this oil is good for a year or 15,000 miles. Most people don't put 15,000 miles on their cars within a year. It's usually somewhere around 12,000. So yeah, you'll have this for an entire year of full synthetic oil for about $30. That is an absolute awesome deal. And if you guys maintain your own vehicles the way I do, then this is definitely going to save you some money. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. So if you liked what you saw, give me a big thumbs up. If you guys have any questions about the oil change process that we did here or the procedure of buying the oil while saving some money, definitely shoot them in the comment section down below. Let me know. I will be glad to help out because this is definitely the way you should be doing it if you're changing your own oil. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, guys, please do. I have loads of Colorado mods sitting in my garage that are going to be making its way onto this truck very soon. You're definitely going to want to see this stuff. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload.